5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, party people! Darren's got 30 years in the game, knows every technique and every tool. But when he talks, he goes so deep. You blink, it's been 10 minutes. He's got knowledge, that's a fact. But forgets we want the fast track. He's not ignoring, he just cares. Sometimes forgets who's even there. That's where Sean steps up. Cliff Notes, master tech, savvy, slick. Together they flow, detail, dream team. No fluff, no BS, just a clean stream. Thanks for tuning in, we see your name. Whether first time viewer or back again, we're here to teach, to chill, to grow. No BS, just the stuff you want to know. Subscribe to Auto Fetish Detail and shine like a pro AZ. Like, share, subscribe, that's your crew. The stream's for car care and people like you. We keep it
Okay, party people, here we have on your screen a Shine Like a Pro AZ, which is Sean's channel on YouTube. So think of Sean's channel like this. He takes my long form content and he slices and dices and puts it through his magic machine and comes up with short form content. You can think of this like the Cliff Note version of my long form videos. He is streaming on that channel. And then there's me and my channel, Auto Fetish Detail. Most of the videos are what's considered long form, where I go into great detail.
All right.
Hey, Sean.
All right.
I'm just giggling at the intro again. I don't know, is it my imagination or it seems the little dancing escapade there that's a little bit more grainier this week? Would something have changed with your new laptop?
Nope. It's called the internet. I'm working with what I got.
Yeah.
So it's
I
probably
mean,
just my
do you notice it or can you tell?
Yeah. It looks grainier here, but I know once it gets uploaded on YouTube, it clears it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got JR in the house.
He's
I don't
saying
really
that-
recognize, huh?
Yeah. I haven't seen him before.
I don't recognize that moniker or that logo, but
He does
whatever.
not.
Whatever he's observing, he finds it weird.
Yeah. He does not like the intro. That's okay. It's not for everyone.
Although, did he not? Oh, there's Umberto. Welcome, Umberto.
Umberto, you're not first.
Como va? I know Umberto. Mr. Weird was, and Janet Bishop is in the house again, which is kind of funny. I was thinking of Janet before we got in front of my screen. She's the only woman that chimes in, and she's asked some good questions.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I wonder how irritated she gets with me because I give these long-winded answers because they're the answers that I want. Meaning, I want full context, I want full understanding. I don't want some, superficial answer that I go away with and say like, well, I'm not really sure what to do with that. I mean, everyone is different on that spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow,
again,
I was thinking about her is, I guess, my point.
Yeah, and remember, Darren, like our job is not to make everyone happy because some people are going to like our stream, some people are going to hate it. But that's why it's
Yes.
called YouTube, where there's like a billion channels, and you can just go to the next channel. Don't like it, don't watch it.
I tend to be somewhat of a polarizing person that way. There's not a whole lot of middle ground. You either like it or you just want to hate it and shoot my head off or something.
There's Umberto talk about.
Oh, check him out playing pickleball here in Florida. I wonder if the Florida humidity is even as bad as
I think it's worse.
Texas humidity.
It's worse.
Well,
Well,
I don't
because
know because I've got Florida on my WAP. That's funny. On my app.
yeah,
I think I have 3 cities on my app for Florida: Miami,
Miami's worse. Miami. So it depends
St.
where in Florida you go.
Petersburg.
Yeah.
But you're telling me how bad the humidity is where you're at, which our audience would not know that you've moved probably again.
No,
So do you want to like enlighten them?
I guess I moved to Austin, Texas.
You guess. And by the way, I was watching a video about Austin, Texas on YouTube last night, how the tech companies moved there and now they're kind of moving out to a degree.
Yeah.
And it actually looks like a pretty cool city. What I like the fact is they've got that river that runs through it.
Yeah, the Ladybird.
And I went, no, but I'm thinking that's got to be pretty cool. I don't know, but there you were telling me how bad the humidity is.
Yeah.
And it's part of his teaser when he did the video was, oh, I interviewed 100 people, and the number one answer that people are leaving Austin is, and then it cuts, and then it goes into his video, and then about 12 minutes in, he says, yeah, the number one answer I heard from people why they're leaving is the weather.
Yeah.
And based on what you told me, it's like, oh my gosh, that humidity is horrid.
Well, go on. Sorry.
Are you going to rationalize it why it's not horrid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Because
Tell us why it's not so horrid.
Because, like you said, every place you go to, there's gonna be pros and cons, and
Okay,
there's
well,
more,
but yes, that's true. But that's also you're deflecting from the real
it doesn't bug me.
argument,
It
which
doesn't bug you.
is it horrid or is it not? It doesn't mean in the bigger picture is it a
Yeah.
worthy trade-off. It's just, is it horrid? Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it sucks, but it's not that bad because there's air conditioning and there's pools and there's lakes and
Well, every place could say that, right? So
yeah.
my point is yes, it sucks. It sucks
Yeah.
balls.
Well, there's positive things to it. The positive thing is that you lose weight fast. I already went down a belt size because it's like a hot box.
You do have almost a mania for finding the positive in things, which I appreciate that in you. You are
Yeah.
like the consummate optimist.
Yes,
The
I am an
glass is
optimist.
always half full, Darren. Don't
Yeah.
even look at the half emptiness. It's half full, buddy.
Yep.
And I appreciate that.
So, guys, today we're going to talk about.
Oh, see, now you're just going to deflect.
Well, no, I'm not deflecting. I'll get back to it. But there's people are going off in the comments, so I figured we at least talk about what we're going to discuss.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back to it. But we're going to talk about today, and it was kind of like a last minute thing. It wasn't planned. None of the live streams were really planned, by the way. As you guys
I'm
know.
sure our audience can tell.
Yeah, well, it's for the people who are new who jump in. But
Yeah.
what I was going to say was I found this article, which could be complete BS, but I figure we take a look at it together, and you guys can also jump in and give us your thoughts. Umberto, feel free to jump in and tell me what you think about this, where you think, since you're pretty knowledgeable, you can let us know if you think this is true or not. But it's basically an article about the future of auto detailing, and Darren and I can look it over and discuss it. And we don't have to talk about this the whole day, but it's just something to start the live stream with.
Yeah.
I can switch it over. We should go through all the comments, Darren, before we move forward.
That's fine. I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, so let's go. Actually, let me go back to this. I can go through the comments. I'll start at the top.
Start at the top.
So I'll go after the pickleball. There you go. There's Umberto.
I'm laughing. I'm looking up at Mark Rizzo's comments, and I'm already laughing. Even you haven't gotten into it yet. Humidity here is less than Puerto Rico. Wait, where is? I forget where Humberto is because he just told us he was visiting somewhere.
He's against right here. See?
Oh, he's in Miami. I am in Miami. Okay, and he's saying it's less than or more than?
He's
somewhere.
saying that humidity in Miami is less than Puerto Rico. I don't know if he's talking about.
Okay.
I think. Oh yeah, he's talking about Miami. Okay, Florida. And
Yeah.
then here's Humberto again.
Because honestly, like I said, I have 3 cities of Florida on my weather app: Clearwater, St.
Yeah.
Petersburg, and Miami. And honestly, the humidity is not that much different than here very
Yeah.
often in Southern California. So I don't know. I've always heard it was bad, but based on your description of Texas, that's horrid. So I'll call this bad and yours is horrid.
Yeah.
Anyhow, visiting my brother after working here, I was at Illinois until Tuesday. Umberto, the world traveler that he is. Man of culture. One way to label it, Mark. I will certainly lean into that. I enjoy your answers, Darren. Well, thank you, Janet. You might be the minority in that.
Yeah.
People's eyes tend to glaze over. Yo, Fiffer. I'm not sure what. Do you have any idea what that means?
No.
FFPR. Yo, FFPR. I would have to seek the counsel of AI for that. Here it's like in the 80s and 80 temperatures, 70% humidity, way less than Puerto Rico. Yes, so Puerto Rico, like anything in Central or Central America, like Panama, because I've done a little bit of research, Guatemala, Panama, it's pretty extreme. That's what I was laughing at, Mark. Humidities.
Yeah. So
Leave it to Mark.
yesterday morning, again, the mornings are worse than later in the
Well, the
day.
mornings are worse anywhere. Just FYI,
Yeah.
that's just the way it works.
Right.
Just so you
So
know,
Friday at 6 a.m. in Austin was humidity was at 97%, and
97.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
could feel it because we're all standing there and we're sweating, and we weren't even moving. So and the sun wasn't out yet, and we were already sweating.
yeah. And right now,
Oh
are you literally in Austin, or
yeah.
you're on the outskirts of Austin?
No, I'm like only a few miles from downtown, so I'm in
Okay,
Austin.
so it's 87 right now in Austin, and wait for it. Hey, the humidity says it's only 61%.
That's pretty good. That's
Yeah,
actually
yes, it is.
yeah.
So what we'll do is I'm going to compare that to, for example, St. Petersburg. All indicators suggest if I had to pick a place to relocate right now, it'd be St. Petersburg. So 76 in St. Petersburg, which is even more humid than where you're at.
Yeah.
So let's see where I'm at. Mystery. I wonder if anyone in my audience or our audience knows exactly what city I live in. So it's 58% here, which is not too bad, but it's not great. Trust me,
Yeah.
it's not great. I'll take single digit humidity all day long. That's what I like. Single digits, baby. First from
Um,
Huerto.
yeah.
Mark is a pot stirrer. Mark,
He's he's
he
saying
likes the levity.
FFPR is first from Puerto Rico. Is what he's saying.
I say first from Puerto Rico.
Mark is saying 79% where he's at humidity.
I'm pretty sure we know where he is, but I don't remember.
Alabama or Georgia, one of those states.
Yeah,
I think.
79%. That sounds painful. Sorry.
Yeah.
I I
So
I really just humidity, it just affects everything in a negative way to me, but whatever. All right, you want to jump into this detailing industry. Let's just give a little context because you and I briefly talked about this before we started. So, can you flash to the website of this? I think it was like carwash.com or what's this website, Sean?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
carwash.com.
what?
Yeah, carwash.
Carwash.com?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And so scroll up to or scroll down to what you showed me.
yeah.
Puerto Rico, in
That-
your case, you need a cotex so you can't place it in your right away. I've not heard that label forever. Cotex. Do you know what a cotex is, Sean?
no.
It's a feminine napkin
Oh, okay. Got it.
It's a well, it could be a tampon, it could be a feminine pad. The point
Right.
is, that's funny. Okay, Sarasota. Of course, I don't remember. I know I've heard that city. I just don't remember where it's at. Puerto Rico. I'm gonna look it up. 97%, dude. It's like that's like almost raining. And just because it's raining doesn't mean you can't have like there's not a direct correlation to that, by the way.
Yeah.
So Puerto Rico, Puerto. So did you? Yes, you did. Do you want to read that, Sean?
Well, I'm gonna have you read it because you're the expert. I'm actually gonna
I
enlarge
was
this
kind
too.
of stalling for time. Actually, Umberto, right now, my weather app, anyways, and not that this is canonized scripture. It says 83%, which is still horrid. 83%, and it is what time in Puerto Rico? It's 9 o'clock in Puerto Rico. Damn, Puerto Rico's 3 hours ahead of where I'm at. Jeez. So Umberto, yes, you get the award. Worst humidity in the present moment, 83%. No thanks. Okay, so vehicle scanning. Did you highlight this, Sean? I suspect you
Nope.
did, right?
No, I did not. That's just the way the article is.
Oh, okay. Technology, innovation, equipment such as touchless press. You know what? The comments on the right are actually obscuring the. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So I need to read more of it to understand the context of it.
Yeah.
So they're talking about technology, innovations in equipment such as touchless pressure washers, steam cleaning systems, dry ice blasting machines have enhanced. Okay, I can already tell this guy really is not an industry expert by any means. And it says at the beginning he's a, what do they call him as
Oh,
far as a writer?
he's a
Not a
where is it?
contract writer. I don't remember what they called it.
No, wait, no, that's not it.
Oh, freelance contributor. So he's
Yeah.
just a freelance guy, which means he's just a gun for hire.
Yeah.
So by no means, and I can tell in the first paragraph that he is a gun for hire. He's not an expert by any means. Not even,
Right.
I would not even say he's well versed in it. So, for example, dry ice blast. Wait, sorry, can you go back up? Yeah. So technology is enhanced. Well, it enhances life at every level. We'll just give him that. But what he's suggesting is that vehicle scanning technologies, which is just a such an ambiguous statement, including 3D sensors and advanced cameras. Okay, so advanced cameras. My iPhone's an advanced camera.
Well,
Meaning there's so many things wrong with this already. Sorry to be overly critical, but it's just what we call the internet slop. Have you heard of the dead internet
yeah,
theory, Sean?
yeah, I have
Do you
heard of that.
believe
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
I absolutely do. And this
Yeah.
confirms it. It's just slop. It's just garbage.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not even into the second, what I would call the official second paragraph. And I'm already annoyed by it because it's slop. It's so ambiguous. It's not telling me anything like, ooh, vehicle scanning technologies. Okay. And it goes on to say, let's see here. Now allow detailers to assess a car's condition, which is funny that he's saying detailers when we're talking about probably a car wash tunnel, which has nothing to do with detailers, but people that run the car wash and people that work at the car wash, which are not detailers.
Right.
Assess a car's condition. Really? I mean, do you have to assess the car's condition before it goes to the car wash tunnel? I don't think so. It doesn't even have to be dirty and they'll be willing to send it through. You know why? Because if you're willing to pay money, they don't care what it looks like. Just pay us the money and we'll send it through. There's so many things wrong with this. All right. Additionally, customer focused digital tools are getting new benchmarks for convenience. That's a lot of words to say absolutely almost nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying mobile apps and algorithm driven platforms streamline appointment booking, payment processing, and loyalty programs, making it easier than ever for business to attract and retain. I guarantee this guy put a topic through the AI machine, and
Mm.
this is the garbage that it churned out. Sorry, dude, you suck. Whoever this dude is, he probably got paid $6.50 to write this for carwash.com. So you can't blame him. I'm going to blame carwash.com.
Do you want to see the rest?
Not really, but I'm willing to play along.
Okay,
I'm,
let's
I'm
play.
willing to humor you and our audience, perhaps.
Play along.
Okay, chemical innovation, chemicals. Ooh, now we're getting into chemical innovation. So, ceramic and graphene coatings have become must-have offerings in premium detailing packages. Once considered niche, these coatings are now central to the market due to their long-lasting protection and hydrophobic properties. Do you know what hydrophobic means, Sean?
Something to do with water.
Yes, hydro, ergo hydro. Phobic actually just translates into fear. So hydrophobic means fear or water fearing properties, which suggests that it beads up because water doesn't like it because it's afraid of water. So
Yeah.
hydrophobic properties. Graphene has emerged as the next big innovation, offering enhanced durability, heat dissipation, and resistance to contaminants. Wireless detailing products are also gaining popularity, which is kind of funny. They've been gaining popularity for the past, like, I don't know, 20 years.
Yeah.
Combining environmental consciousness with convenience, infused with lubricants and polymers, these products safely lift dirt without the need for rinsing, making them especially attractive in drought prone areas. Okay, do you want to move on? Chemicals are
Yes.
at the forefront. Ceramic coatings. These coatings shield paint from UV damage. Okay. See, just the wording in that is just off.
Well,
Okay.
you don't like if you. So I want you to react to this and give your honest opinion, whether you think it's stupid or good. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, that's
There's
fine.
my honest reaction.
That's fine.
Done.
But that what my point, like I said,
I'm just following your lead, by the way.
no, I know. And then the other article that we did last time,
Yeah.
the vast majority of people read this and go like, "Oh, cool," like this is really cool stuff because they
You
don't
know what?
know.
I'm a little skeptical of that because I want to know the the cognitive bandwidth of someone that's going to read this article and say, "Oh, wow, that's cool. Wow, that's cool." Like I'm really skeptical of that. I think honestly, I look at it as they are just trying to game the algorithms of Google and Bing and Yahoo and creating content in the name of creating content. It doesn't have to be good content, but they want to signal to the algorithms of the search engines that, hey, our website is ongoing, it's current, we're delivering new information when it's just slop.
Yeah.
So that's my expanded version of this is stupid. That was your word you used, right? Is it good or is it stupid? Is that what was that my choices?
I think so. Let me do another one here real quick.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Let me hone in on this. Targeting new demographics. Okay. Fleet owners, rideshare drivers, and delivery services represent untapped markets for detailing businesses. Really? These clients require regular maintenance and detailing services, providing consistent revenue streams and opportunities for long-term contracts. Oh my God. Okay. How about where the industry is headed in 2025? Industry is poised. There's the word du jour. It is poised for 8 to 10% growth in 2025, fueled by technological advancements and heightened consumer awareness of vehicle maintenance. Oh my word. It's just more of the same slop. Slop, slop, and more slop. There's my opinion.
Yeah. As far
And
as like the detailing robots, I don't see that happening for a while.
well, could you not call a wash tunnel a type of robot already? I could. It's got
Yeah.
robotic arms, as in automated arms, you
Let's talk about
know.
it's talking about AI. I know what he's talking about. It's talking
Oh, I
about
know what but where are you reading, by the way? Where's it saying robots? Oh,
emerging
emerging
technology.
technologies.
Yeah.
So yes, detailing. So put in simple terms, the more dexterity that is required to perform a job, the longer it will take for a robot to replicate it. Now, with a little caveat to that, because someone out in audience land might hear me say that and say, well, wait a minute. They have robots, air quotes, performing very precision surgeries. It's like, yes, they are, but they're not full autonomous robots. They're it's the same like with the car wash tunnel. I could call that robotic. Well, but it's not a full autonomous robot that's meant to replicate a human. So they have these devices, these machines that are robotic in nature, but it's not a full autonomous type of robot. So that's what this article is suggesting is AI robots. Is that what it called it? AI robots?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when someone reads this, AI, actually it said automated detailing robots, but
Well, it
we're going to
says
call them the same
AI
thing.
powered diagnostic tools.
Yeah, see, those are two different discussions
And
because
augmented
automated detailing robots versus AI powered diagnostic tools. We already have AI powered diagnostic tools. Now we have literally AI powered everything, whether it's the internet, your different apps, doesn't
yeah,
matter. So
yeah.
it says automated detailing robots. To me, that suggests literally a robot looking thing that's going to replace the human worker bees at the car wash or the detailers.
I think it will eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying is that the more dexterity that's required from
yeah.
a full autonomous robot, like for example, how hard would it be to engineer a robot that can walk Digger the dog for you around the block? All it's got to do is really just walk, have AI technology so it doesn't let your dog walk into the street, perhaps, as compared to a detailer or compared to, let's say, brain surgery. So if you literally wanted to replace a brain surgeon, that's going to take a lot more advancement because you need one that can walk, that can be truly autonomous, that can grab its own tools, multiple types of tools, switch them out, know which tools it needs. That's a different spectrum of engineering, is what I'm
Before
saying.
we keep pushing forward, we should read the comments because they're kind of behind.
Okay, let's go for it. Also, now they're saying of
Uh,
triphene. Oh, Saratoga south of St. Pete. Oh, so okay, you're in Florida. So wait a minute,
oh, okay.
south of St. Petersburg in Clearwater. Okay,
I was close. I
that's
said Georgia
cool.
or Alabama. They're right next to Florida.
Yeah. So Mark, I wonder if you'd give me the thumbs up of relocating there or not, in simple
Actually,
terms.
Mark wants you to move in with him.
and
You guys can
really,
be
did he tell you that?
you guys can be bunk buddies.
Yeah. 80% is the airport, but where I live, it's higher. My son texted it from the gauge I have at home. I believe you, by the way. That's a lot of mambo jumbo of AI they want to try to introduce. Yes. And just so you guys know, I am a huge fan of AI. Do I believe it will be the end of civilization? Yeah, I believe it actually could be, but I don't really care
Well, it doesn't matter
because
because
there's no stopping it.
by the time that happens, we'll be dead. It won't matter.
Well, I don't think so. I think it absolutely could happen before you and I are dead because I plan on
Well,
living a lot longer, put it that way.
yeah,
But the point is the genie is out of the bottle. To try to now monitor it and try to train it for good behavior, I
yeah,
think that ship has sailed and
right.
we're just F
Yeah,
shapped.
yeah. There's nothing to do about it.
But I'm a big fan of it and I use
Yeah,
it every day.
yeah. So do I.
I've never heard of triphene. It's probably some made up word, but you could correct me, Umberto. I have no idea what that was. I wonder what the water has to say about that. The water. You know what? The joke is lost on me, Mark, because I suspect it is a joke. Wait, go back to that. I suspect the water. I wonder what the water has to say about that. Yeah, I suspect he's talking about something in regards to me moving to Florida and with the water. I don't know.
That or
Everything is
the hydro thing you were talking about earlier.
hydrophobic. Everything
Yeah.
is hydrophobic. Check the definition, either sheeting or beading. Well, there is. I, I mean, that's an oversimplification, Umberto. Not everything is hydrophobic. There's, and I don't. Now you're asking for too much mental bandwidth in this moment. So what would be the opposite? The etymology of hydrophobic is water fearing. So I don't know what the opposite would be of water loving. Because plants are not hydrophobic, for example, humans are not hydrophobic. We could have a psychological fear of water, but we need water to survive. I just don't know what the word is. People don't maintain their cars since they don't read the car manual. Yes, in fact, let me ask Gemini. I know what hydrophobic means, but what would be the opposite of hydrophobic, as in water wanting or needing or loving? Let's see what Gemini says. Okay, hydrophilic is the opposite of water fearing. So hydrophilic is water loving. So there, plants would be water loving. Humans are hydrophilic. So we stand corrected. Also, manufacturers seal the transmission and it put that it doesn't need replacement. Put that in it. Maybe I don't know. Faux show, Darren. The women are beautiful in St. Pete's. Are they? You know what, Mark? It's funny you say that because I pretty much have gone to the beach every weekend for the past 20 years. And that's not hyperbolic, by the way. I could count on two hands. Now it would take probably four hands to count because, me going through divorce, I don't go every single weekend because if the weather's just marginal, it's like it's just not worth it. Point is for 20 years I've gone to the beach every weekend, and by weekend I mean both days. And when I look around, it's literally like there really isn't that many good-looking chicks here in California, and I suspect it's probably universal. Um, and not that there's that many great-looking dudes either. So on the women's perspective, they would complain also, but I don't know. I mean, there could be lots of beautiful women in St. Petersburg. I hope there is.
That's
I'm
because
just,
all the pretty women in California left.
you know what? It's not that they left. It's just that when you look at the hierarchy, kind of the socioeconomic class, like
Yeah.
the beautiful women, they're pretty much not at the beach. You know why? Because they're at the mall shopping. You know
Uh,
why? Because they're married to some dude or with
that's
some
money.
dude that's got money.
Yeah.
And so it's a socio-economic thing, is my opinion.
Yeah.
Because unless you're truly a nature type of person and you love the sun and you love the beach and you like exposing your body, which most people don't,
Yeah.
so you're going to find the really pretty women at the malls. So yes, if you go to the malls, that's where they're at. Because at the beach, yeah, you're going to see a shitload of skin.
Hmm.
And in general, in simple terms, yes, skin always wins. You're going to see a ton of skin. The problem is you're typically going to see a ton of skin on women that should not be showing you a ton of skin.
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic. Like they're
Thanks,
wearing the
man.
thong bathing suits and they've got all the cottage cheese ass showing, and you're like, oh my gosh, could you cover that up?
Hmm.
Anyhow, that's just my perspective.
You might trigger someone.
Hydrophilic.
You might trigger someone, Darren.
Yeah. I know I'd trigger these women if they heard my opinion.
Of course.
Yeah. Hydrophilic. Yeah. Alex is right on the same page. Sorry to hear about the divorce. Yes, you and me both. I remember when you featured her in a few videos, you guys seemed happy. That's pretty good, Alex.
Hmm.
I remember that also. In fact, there was a video. We were detailing the inside of a car
Yeah.
for the video. And you might remember the Sean
Yeah.
because
I edited the video. But
you
gone.
did you?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's funny because my wife freezes up in front of the camera, which I can appreciate. I used to freeze up in front of the camera, and it's always been agonizing for me to be in front of the camera. Despite
Yeah.
what you guys observe, it's agonizing for me. And so I get it. But the point I was trying to do in the video, because someone accused me of talking down to her and being mean to
Mm,
her and called me probably a few names saying, oh my gosh, who would put up with this guy? I can't believe that's your husband, words to that effect. And it's like, okay, I kind of get it, but I was being direct with my wife because I knew she knew what she was doing. She was just freezing up in front of the camera. So it's almost like when someone's going into a panic, and you realize that they're panicking, and so you bitch slap them to like
Mm.
knock them out of that psychological moment, and it works. You're like, oh wow, yeah, I was starting to freak out. Thanks, man. So I wasn't going to bitch slap her. That's not me. But I was talking to her like, hey, honey, you know exactly what you're doing. So just answer the question. Like get out of this mental mind f in the moment where you're feel like you're speaking to the world even though you are. It's like just focus on what I'm asking you. So that was the point of that video, because she's been detailing with me, not full time by any stretch, but she would go with me on the weekends occasionally, and she definitely did a fabulous job on the interiors. And it was the running joke that she would do such a fabulous job that we would lose money. It's like, hey,
Mm.
honey, the goal is to make money. The goal isn't to deliver perfection. We're delivering a superior service, which is different than perfection. So you need to dial it back. And then the running joke then became like, oh, she would say like, oh, how long would that like when we're driving away, she'd say, oh, how long would that job have taken you if you were by myself? And I would say something like, probably 20 minutes sooner than what we just did.
Mm.
She goes, oh, so basically I'm taking longer. It's like, yeah, you are, but I appreciate the effort. It's just that you need to dial it back. Anyhow, so it's funny that Alex, apparently he's been around for a while or watched my videos long enough, because that video would have been, man, that's probably 5 years old at least. I don't know.
No, it's older than that.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it was like 7 years ago or something like that.
Could be. But with that said, is we would have been, I don't think we were shooting that on location. I think we were using her
You,
car.
no, you were on location. You were the customer.
Really?
Yeah, you were the
Yeah.
customer. You were detailing two cars, and she was cleaning the inside. And
Okay.
you send the video. Look, my wife. She does such a good job. She's such a
Yeah.
good interior detailer.
And she is. She
Yeah.
definitely, um,
Oh, I remember
as
which customer it was
far
too.
as all the people I trained, and I've
Yeah.
trained many, many employees and other people, she definitely was the easiest person to train as
Yeah.
far as how to be detailed and meticulous and conscientious about detailing. That's
Yeah.
what I mean to be very specific as far as training, because everything past that, it's a whole separate conversation, and not a particularly nice one. Go on,
Yeah,
Sean.
and the customer you were doing the cars for, I think you had four cars. I remember you said that he was one of your best customers.
That'd be Bill Anderson.
Yeah, you had him for a long time, and he was really
Yeah.
nice. And he always had to do all his cars, all his kids' cars, and
Yeah, that'd be Bill. I
yeah,
had him. I bet I had him as a customer for 20 years.
yeah,
Yeah. In fact, he went through a divorce himself.
yeah. Here's the next question for Umberto.
Like
Or
Van
next time.
Halen said on their song California Girls. Yeah, you would think. I know it's kind of synonymous, like, oh, the girls in California are the hottest. It's like,
It
I
used to
don't
be.
know if that's really true or not. Oh, that's funny. Share with us some tips how to avoid divorce. Well, the biggest tip I'd say is just never get married. And
Nah,
what I'll tell you, other than not, oh, sorry, you, I should have read
I'm,
ahead.
nah, you're good.
Um, so, but you know what? The biggest tip I'll give you, Alex, is you absolutely, positively, okay, it's going to be two things. You need to read the book Rational Male. And I've talked about this book on this channel before. It's written by a guy named Rollo Tomasi. He has a YouTube channel. Yes, you can tune into his channel. I don't recommend it because he does live streams and he talks for 3 to 4 hours at a time, and there's no context for you. And so you will be turned off by it probably. So the Rational Male is a fundamentals of the female, what's called the female imperative. And there's three of them: provide for me, protect me, and parental investment. So they want you to provide for them with resources, money, food, shelter, whatever, protect them physically, and then parental investment, which is, can you help me produce a superior offspring? And are you willing to put in the time and effort to help me raise this child? That's what women are focused for. So read The Rational Male. The second one is just know, at least here in California, but it's pretty universal across the US, which is the divorce laws are written in favor of women. Absolutely. In fact, women are incentivized because what happens is the government becomes their spouse, their surrogate spouse, because the government has all kinds of programs where they will take care of women and their children, and therefore women are literally paid to get divorced. It is a jacked up system. So I'm having to learn the hard way. This is actually my second divorce. But fortunately, my first divorce, my wife was much more mature, and we handled it through a paralegal. We handled it through adult like conversations and negotiations, and we made the split. No drama whatsoever. That is not the case this time. I found you back in 2013 or 14. Wow, that's a good span. That's going back some years. Don't get me wrong. I'm also divorced since four sons and 20 years. Dude, did we know that about Humberto?
No.
Wait, pull that back up. That was a lot of information. So he has four sons. By the way, I have three biological children and two stepchildren. So, and I've been with this woman for 19 years, and we raised five kids together. So he's been divorced since 2014. So 6, 5, that's 11 years, 20 years of marriage. So yes, don't get married. Yeah, you know what? Unless you want to have children, because to me, if you do, that's a different conversation. But honestly, there, in my opinion, there's just zero incentive to actually get married.
Well, there's a tax there. There's a tax benefit.
Yeah, but it pales in comparison. I promise you, all the money that you want to spend on prostitutes, you'll still be so far ahead of the curve by going that route.
Yeah.
And give it another year, you'll be able to buy your AI surrogate sex partner, and you'll just be
Nah,
fine.
how fast? But there you go. Here's
I'm
the one.
sure you did all that. So WTF, it must be on her. I'm hurt for you. Hey, I appreciate that, Alex. And you know what? There's two sides to every story.
Yeah.
But what I would say, two things, once again, two things. One, I could tell you 95% exactly everything my wife would say against me. She'd call me a narcissist, a gaslighter, a hurt people. So yes, I went through childhood trauma. I won't elaborate on that, but pretty much a lot of what you can imagine, I experienced it. So therefore, I was a hurt person, and therefore, I'm going to take it out on those that I love. So these were her default settings that she would say, "Oh, well, that's the problem. You're a hurt person, and now you're taking on me." It's like, okay, but where's the evidence? So I could tell you 95% of what she would say as far as her version of the story. And then what was the other point? Because there's always two sides to every. Oh, so what I'm doing is I am documenting, and this is where I'm using AI. One of the ways I use AI every day is I am taking all these episodes, like 19 years of friction. I don't care what the topic was, it was friction. And you'd say, like, well, dude, why did you stick it out? It's like, well, because we had kids, we're blending families. I'd already put my kids through one divorce. There was plenty about my wife that I absolutely loved and appreciated. And we had so much chemistry together. But unfortunately, it was just offset by so much friction. And it really became like, oh my gosh, is this really worth it? And so I did that battle for years. Um, so I just finally just was completely worn out. I'd already left two other times, which when you and I met
Yeah.
for the first time, Sean, you remember
Yeah.
that?
You were separated at a time.
Yeah. And do you remember what city I was living in?
Yeah. NM Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
guess which separation that was? Number one or number two?
Number two.
It was.
You told me that. You told me it was number two.
Yes. And me leaving and moving out is not just me leaving personally. It's my whole business. My whole business is run out of this home. So right now I'm in my home office. So I've got my computer here. This is where I do all my computer work, and then the garage is filled with all my equipment and supplies. So when I move, it is a huge undertaking. It's not like I just pick up my laptop, gather my clothes, and then move out.
Yeah.
It was horrendous, and I still never recovered from even that. Never mind what I'm going through now. So whatever. The court system gives all to women, and I had to prove all to the court of her lies. Still, they gave full custody. Oh, God, are you kidding me? Man, until the day she mistreated our oldest, and the court gave, oh, check you out, gave him to me. But what about the other kids? Does that mean that you only have custody of the one kid?
There
Because
it
you have
is.
4. Oh, okay, there we go. He's preemptively answering my questions. That's a trip that they'd give you custody of 1, but not 3. I'd like to know, I'd like to be in that judge's head and understand his logic behind that. That's bizarre. I'm telling you, man, women, they are just a different species. And I'm not trying to disparage women, in case you're still here, Janet.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna
just,
say. Janet left.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there is differences, and
Yeah.
I will disparage men as much as I'll disparage women. It's just that we display it in very different ways. So the point is for all you guys, and this is not advice for just young guys. I don't care what age you are, as long as you have any interest in women, and you could already be married or already be in a committed relationship, is I just believe you need to read that book, The Rational Male. And you know what's ironic, Sean?
Yeah.
Is I was introduced, I don't know if I've told you the story, because you've heard me talk about this book before, right?
Yes.
Yes, because I have.
Right.
When I remember, and you were in my life, remember when you helped me get ready, and I think you even took me to the airport when I
Yeah.
went to that big turtle wax thing?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a guy there, and he's on YouTube. He's called the Detailing Guru. In fact, you could
Yeah.
look him up on your screen if you want to, Sean.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yes.
He is way cool. I don't even remember his first name. He's British, so he's in England, which would be one of the last countries I would want to try to start a detailing business in, because their weather just does not play along. So we hung out together. In fact, we were like the anomalies of the group. He and I just hung out by ourselves because we really did not fit in. We're the nonconformists, put it that way. Everyone else wanted to, kiss ass to Turtle Wax and just kiss ass with everyone else. Like Luke Wilson was there, Jimbo Balaam was there, which is Jimbo's or Jimbo's or whatever. What's it called? The Auto Detailing Podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like
And
that.
then Pan, the organizer, was there, and I just could hardly stand it. So me and this guy hung out together. We got along because we're both, contrarians. Anyhow, so he was telling me about that book, and it's funny because this girl, because we were by ourselves during lunch, and there was this. Actually, she was pretty hot. She worked at this facility, Well,
He's from England, United Kingdom.
can you pull up a thing so I can get a visual of his face? I mean, that
Uh,
looks kind of like he's really tall and skinny, but I can't see any pictures of him to verify, because I just know it was Detailing Guru something was his channel. Oh, see if there's a link to his social media, like maybe I don't know. It's probably him, but I'm a little surprised that he doesn't have more followers, because I feel like, okay, he joined in 2009, which would make sense.
it's probably him because
What's his latest video upload? Like, how long ago was it?
11 days ago.
Wow, so he's still very active.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is him.
he's been on YouTube for 14 years.
He's a very smart guy. Anyhow, so we're eating lunch together. I mean, we're in this big. We met at a place, a facility, and this is in Scottsdale, Arizona,
Yeah.
which is affluent for Arizona. And it basically was a car club, and they had a whole facility. So you rent out space to keep your cars in. And the place was loaded with exotic cars, vintage cars, cars that are expensive, and people want to keep them there. And you can even rent out your own garage and have your own custom like garage space. Anyhow, so this is where part of the meetup was. And so they prepared lunch for us in the big, entertainment area. And he and I are just eating there by ourselves because everyone else is off together, having a big circle jerk amongst themselves.
Yep.
And so one of the waitresses came up, and she's probably at the time, because this is probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago, Sean. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a while back ago.
And so at the time, she's probably pushing 19 at the most, and really good looking girl. And she came over and just started flirting with us, not overtly, but she definitely
Yeah.
was flirting with us. And I was playing in, because she was starting her own YouTube channel, because she knew what we were all about, why we were there. We all had YouTube
Oh.
channels, that whole thing. So she knew who we were. And so I got into a conversation with her, and I was asking her about her world, and she said, "Oh yeah, I'm starting a YouTube channel." I'm all like, "Oh, what do you do?" And she was really hesitant. She didn't want to tell us. I said, "Come on, just tell us." She goes, "Oh, I do like rap songs." I said, "What?" She's total white chick, good
Yeah.
looking white chick, not blonde hair white chick, but dark, dark brown white chick.
Yeah.
Um, and I said, "Really?" I said, "So bust out something for us." And she just didn't want to do it. And I said, "Oh, come on, come on." So I finally egged her on into it. So she did it. She's really good. I was really surprised. Like, wow, you got some skills.
Hmm.
Anyhow, so we chatted her up for like probably 20 minutes. She probably got in trouble because she's spending so much time with us.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so when she left, the guy from Britain, I wish I remembered his name. In fact, if you went to my Instagram page, Sean,
I
it
don't
has
have
a pit.
I don't have access to Instagram on this computer yet.
Okay, no big deal.
Yeah. Next time.
Because there's a picture of us standing in front of the Shadow Ridge Hotel that we stayed in, and
Yeah.
you can tell the dude's, because I'm 5'10",
Yeah.
barefooted, and he's probably 6'3", so you
Okay.
can see how lanky and tall and skinny he is. Anyhow, so he was saying, like, dude, like, don't you think that's kind of weird that she's over here talking to us and not any of those other guys? I said, I guess now that you say that, kind of, but
Mhm.
not really. I mean, I don't think it's weird. Anyhow, she goes, "Well, yeah, man, like there's a reason for that." So he started telling me about this stuff that he learned in the rational male. And he goes, "Have you ever heard of hypergamy?" I'm all, "No." He goes, "Ever heard of Rational Male, the book?" I'm all, "No." Anyhow,
Mhm.
so we ended up hanging out that night. Um, and he enlightened me. And when I went home, it's like I looked up the book and I read it. It's like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd read this when I was 13 years old. It would explain so much about women and how they operate and how covert they are, and just explained so much. Anyhow, I'm really surprised he doesn't have more subscribers, because I feel like even back then he had like at least 200 something thousand.
Yeah, but I'm looking at his channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not consistent,
Oh,
and
really?
he goes for a while. Like, look, 11 days, 3 weeks, it's a month, 2 months,
But
and
some of
then
those views, though, like, is he getting like millions on some of those
nah,
videos,
that's
or
that's your
no?
problem. Look, it jumps. So he's not being consistent. Look, it goes 3, 4, 5. It means he's only doing one video a month,
Oh, yeah.
and then that's why. And then his engagement is low for a channel like that many subscribers. That's low engagement.
Why
But
don't you, how can you tell engagement? You mean by how many views?
yeah, so there's engagement, and then his so he's got good views. Like, but the last video they got
Why
a
don't
lot
you
of views.
click on a video? And I'm gonna look at this question from Umberto. See if you can click on a video
Yeah,
and just scan through it and see if it shows him. I just want to verify that it's him. He's got full tats, big time tats on his body. I don't think he has full on sleeves tats,
yeah,
but he's got a
yeah.
lot of
He's got that. It's got to be him.
tats. And I do think that was his logo there, if I remember, that they just showed.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely not him. I mean, I don't think that's him unless he suddenly grew hair, because he's bald, very tall, and very skinny, very lanky dude. But way cool, man. He and I got along well. That looks like him. It's hard to tell how tall he is, though, right there, but that definitely looks like him. Yeah, what a trip. I don't even recognize what kind of car that is, do you?
Was a European car. They have like
Yeah,
cars out
they
there that we don't have here.
they do have different cars.
Yeah, a Pegad or Pagod or what the hell it's called.
I don't know.
It's one of the cars they
Are
make
you
out there. Where,
thinking of Pagani? Because that's not a Pagani.
no, not Pagani. Something else. It's spelled
Yeah.
the one that started with an R, and it has like two
Renault,
lines. In it. That's it.
Renault.
That's
They
it.
call it a Renault.
Yeah,
Renault. That's how
that's
they
it.
see. Because I lived in Scotland. That's funny. Oracle. That's a, that's a that's like a not turtle wax. Who is it? Like, can you? It
Oh,
doesn't matter.
I'm
Let me
trying to.
read Umberto's. Yeah, that's definitely him.
Yeah,
I just saw that reflection in the
yeah.
side
Let's
of the
read
car.
Umberto's. He's
There's
got
an
two.
order of my son's being with me every other weekend, and that isn't met since she went to live in Kentucky. And because she has custody of the other three, I don't see them and barely talk with them. Damn, that sucks, dude. That sucks big time. In California, the system is the worst in the states where lawyers end up being appointed judges and they take their children away easier. Yeah, California is one of the worst. It is
California's the worst in everything.
pretty much,
Yeah.
except for the weather.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That is the only redeeming value of California any longer is the weather, and that is it.
That's it.
Sorry, that's it.
Yeah. That is terrible.
And I'm
So
ready to like get out of Dodge at this point.
that's right, guys. So Darren is looking to move. So if anybody has a room available,
We're
or
not saying that.
does anybody have extra space on their bed, their mattress? Darren's open to it.
Now you're just trying to pit me out.
Yeah, yeah. Darren's open to the extra space. If you guys want to,
Yeah.
you
No,
guys
I
can
am
stream.
thinking of literally relocating. I just have, of course, my kids. I have two kids in Utah now. And the one draw about Utah is that the humidity, it's basically a desert. So the humidity is
Yeah,
so low
yeah,
and it's so scenic there as far as desert type of scenery goes. They've got a lot of those state parks like Arches
yeah.
Monument Park
Yeah,
and
yeah, the park thing is cool. Like the hiking
Bryce
part would be cool.
Canyon, I think.
Yeah, the hiking part would be good for you.
But um, I don't know if I could tolerate the winters there. That I just
That's
need the
right. It
sun,
snows.
man. I need the sun.
I forgot it snows up there.
Yep,
Over there.
it definitely snows there because
Yeah.
they're in Saratoga Springs, which is basically Provo, Orem, if people are familiar with it. New Jersey is no better.
Yeah.
Yeah, if because that's NJ, right? New Jersey.
Yeah. New Jersey. I've been to
Yeah,
Jersey, and I went there once and never again.
yeah,
Not for me.
yeah. I don't think I could do it. Darren looking for a spooner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, turn your shorts around, buddy, because I'm
Right.
sleeping with you tonight.
Yeah.
No, I'm not looking for a spooner. In fact, I wasn't even a spooner with my wife. If we're gonna get
That's,
down to business, we're just gonna get down to business. I'm not into the spooning.
mm,
Anyhow. So yes, regardless of your age, Rational Male, The Rational Male, it's a book. And I highly recommend it. It is very enlightening. You will see women with different eyes. It's part of what's called the red pill community. So reading the Rational Male is the equivalent to taking the red pill, and that is a Matrix reference. So the blue pill, you want, and he asks, do you know the characters' names of Matrix,
yeah.
Sean?
Yeah. Neo and
Is
uh,
Morpheus the
Morpheus.
black
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah. He's
And
first
Keanu Reeves is Neo,
Neo and the girl he likes is Trinity.
but
And yeah,
Neo is Keanu Reeves.
yeah,
So Lawrence Fishburne asked
yeah.
Keanu Reeves, it's like, which do you want to take, the blue pill or the red pill? The
Right.
blue pill will keep you stuck here in this illusion that's been
Right.
created. The red pill will take you to reality. It will be the truth, but which one do you want? So the
Yeah.
red pill is you swallowing the pill of truth of reality into the female nature, and there's no going back because once you read that book, you're not going to be able to not connect the dots and be like, oh my gosh, this explains why my wife or girlfriend or girls do this. And not to be confused with the pickup artistry, the PUAs. That's a different culture, and there's really not much in common. They're just completely separate. So don't confuse it with that. Because when I first started reading the Rational Male, and my wife did not like it because that was a turning point for us in a lot of ways, and she just did not want anything to do with it. And I told all my sons they need to read it. In fact, my daughters even read it. Um, Sunshine State of Beauty. That's funny.
There you go, Darren. I just
Ooh,
pulled up the
Texas, Southern Charm and Glamour. That's funny. Texas, would you call
yeah.
Texas glamorous?
There's a lot of pretty girls. There's a lot of pretty girls here. I've seen them.
Oh, really?
A lot of them. Yeah.
But are they glamorous or are they just pretty girls? Those are two different things in my world. You can have a pretty girl that's not glamorous.
I see. Well, they're all different types, but I've seen
Yeah.
older ladies that look pretty good, and I could tell back in the days they were like pretty good looking. So
Man, Umberto, dude, the guy gets around. I cannot believe how many places this guy has been to. I visited Provo, Ogden, Orem, SLC, which is Salt Lake City.
yeah,
Met at Sandy, which is another city, Sandy, Utah. The owner of Lithium Auto Elixir, Bill Crawley. Dude, you are the man of the world. You're the cosmopolitan man. Neo, yes, is Keanu. So I wonder if you've swallowed and Umberto, based on your experience, I suspect you have swallowed the red pill in a large way. So is the book going to destroy a good marriage? No, it won't, Alex. What it will do, it will change what's called frame. Frame literally, it's a metaphor, but it literally is a good metaphor. And what I mean by that is frame, because think of frame as your perception of the world, your perspective of the world. And people use this in all types of niches or conversations. But when it comes to the rational male, is it will change your frame because it will change how you see the world, how you see your wife, and you will be able to see. It's hard to answer that question because the simple answer is no, it won't. To me, it will give you the insight that I think every man should have. But really, it depends on the dynamics of your relationship. So to turn your question in on myself, it's like, did it ruin my marriage? No, it didn't. But it was a tipping point because in simple terms, to just be very blunt with myself, it allowed me to grow my testicles back because in many ways I was kind of a castrated man, and they call it a simp, as in a sympathizer towards the women's plight. So that's what a simp is. And because that's how I was raised, I was raised in a I was raised Mormon, very structured, very rigid, and they basically teach you indirectly how to be submissive to your wives because you're taught, like the Bible, to be like Jesus, long suffering, slow to anger, patient, all those things. And so as a man that you're trying to be a man of God and a good husband and father, you're taught all those things, but really what you become is a watered down version of a man. So it waters down your masculinity. Not good, because women need a strong guy to lead them. Even though they give you pushback, they absolutely need it. And if you don't do that, they will lose respect in you. So even if they give you pushback, that's what's called a shit test. And they will shit test you to see how strong you are and to see how much independence you have, because they are attracted to that. They need that for survival, because at a base evolutionary biology, they understand they're the weaker sex, and especially if they get pregnant, they're much more vulnerable because they literally are physically incapacitated. So a evolutionary component is they need a strong man, the hunter, the fighter, the dominator, to provide and protect her. So she doesn't even know this. Most women don't know this. Never mind, most men don't know this. So to me, it helped me massively, but it was also a tipping point, but it was a tipping point that needed to be tipped. I was already struggling in my marriage. There was always still so much resistance because I am a very outspoken, very assertive, very independent person. But because of the way I was raised, I learned how to tame that down in a way that did not serve me or my family. So it helped me. But if you were to ask my wife, she might be able to say, of course, this would require too much self awareness on her part, that it'd be like, oh, yeah, that kind of was a tipping point. Now that I look back on it, where Darren really kind of changed things and became much more assertive and got in my face a lot more and really questioned me on all my bullshit that I tried to push into the conversations. So, with that said, is based on your relationship with your wife, if it's pretty healthy in a good way where you are the leader, you're the pack leader, then it's only going to enhance it. But if your wife is kind of the dominant kind and you learn this stuff, that's going to be tricky because you're going to realize what's going on and you're going to want to like now rise to the occasion, and the frame's already been set. And what you're doing is you're living in her frame, but her frame is dysfunctional, or it could be. I have no idea. Often it is. And so men want to, because our one imperative is all about sex. We just want to have sex with unlimited sex with unlimited partners. I see Sean is taking a break and he's just going to let me continue on. Oh, and Umberto's saying there are lots of bimbos at Texas too. Well, there's bimbos everywhere, Umberto.
Yeah, I
And
really think, Darren, that the best place for you as far as the ladies is gonna be Florida because
the
they're
ladies.
yeah. I think
Honestly, I am not even looking. I'm
no, I
not
know
in that
you.
frame of mind, and I know you know this,
Yeah,
but and I've got women at the gym that, yes, could I? Yes, I could. Am I interested? No, I'm not. You know why? Because intellectually, they can't keep up. And
yeah,
that's a big thing for me. And
yeah.
so it's like they may present well physically and, check all the boxes, but past that, it's like, no thanks. So, and I'm just not in that frame of mind yet.
Yeah. Oh, go to the next question, Hunter. Or next
All
time.
right. Red pill. I don't think so. Or maybe I have since I am colorblind. I forgot about the color blindness.
Yeah.
So she couldn't handle being put in her place. Myron Gaines. Oh, dude, Myron Gaines talks about this a lot. I am a fan of Myron Gaines. That guy is sharp. Okay, so the fact that you know who Myron Gaines is suggests that you probably tune into his show because he does it with his cohort, the other dude. But man, the Myron Gaines, that guy, I'm a fan of Myron Gaines. Just FYI. So yes, you will put her in her place. And by the way, that's what's so ironic is the women absolutely positively want to be put into their place. The problem is they don't know it. They literally don't know any better. They don't know their hard wiring. And so it's just really messed up. And so yes, you're putting the women in their place. You become the pack leader, and that absolutely positively is what they want. I think one day she's going to regret this. My wife isn't dominant, thankfully. Cool. I wonder what you mean by that. I think one day she's going to regret this. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I could interpret that a few ways. You know what? In the book, because I actually have the Audible book or the Audible version also,
Oh, there we go.
and
Okay.
Rollo in the book, he talks about a guy that, because he does consulting with so many guys, and he's just been in the industry as far as this whole manosphere is another label they use it, like the red pill community, the manosphere, or men going their own way, which is MGTOW. So he talks about a guy that came to him and said, "Yeah, I think it was his girlfriend." And he said, "Yeah." So this guy came to me and he said, "Yeah, my girlfriend read the book, and she said I don't want you ever reading this book because this is 100% accurate." um, but as I said, I had both my daughters read it, and I don't know. It's kind of a mind up for them, but it's information that I think they should know because they both subscribe to it. They both want a man who's strong, independent, is going to be the leader, and they accept their role, which is yes, I don't want to be the leader. I don't want to be the hunter in life. I want a man that's willing to do that, and I want to be that person that supports my man doing that. So that's how I raise them. Anyhow, I sure do. I love Fresh and Fit. Yeah, that's it. Fresh and Fit and
Yeah,
his news political coverage.
I'm
Have you watched
subscribed
them,
to.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm subscribed to her channel.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a bit surprised coming from you.
Well, I like they have some stuff that are good and some things that are stupid, so I like watching it.
Yeah,
Also, like,
I honestly have not watched much of Fresh and Fit because I just got really burned out on this whole like bringing these girls on that just
yeah,
talk smack and they're basically the 40, what do they call them? What's the 304s they call them? Do you know what a 304 is?
the a horror, whatever.
A hoe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
It's the
There's a
numeric value for hoe because if you type it out and you turn it upside down, it spells hoe. So 304. Yeah. And so it's like, I don't need that. I'm too old for that stuff.
yeah.
But I've watched enough of Myron Gaines on his own. I think he might have a separate channel. I don't know. I just know I've watched enough of his videos where it's like, damn. And the guy's got balls. And what I didn't realize is his past. He's got a lot of experience, like military experience. If I'm correct, do you know, Sean?
No,
I
I
think
didn't know.
he's military, and so the dude he's been around the block, and he's got a lot of wisdom, and he's not afraid to go public and take on these debates. Like he'll do these forums where people, like these gatherings, and like he'll just take anyone on, and he's got the experience and the knowledge, and he's very articulate, and he's a smart guy. Anyhow, that's my take on him.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Oh, Myron Gaines X. I looked up ahead of you, Sean. Yes, Myron. Oh, so okay. So you guys do know. But with that said, see, I don't know how much Myron Gaines ever even acknowledges Rollo Tomasi or the rational male. I suspect he probably never does, which is a bummer because I think he should. And I'm not a huge fan of Rollo Tomasi, just as a note. I think he does a lot of overcompensating. And I know, like, for example, there's this girl on YouTube called Pearl, which I know you know, Sean, because I
Yeah,
talked about her.
yeah,
She's sharp. I really like her. Pearl
yeah.
Daily. I think her channel. What's that?
She's not what you think she is. Just so you know.
Maybe. I suspect a
I
lot of people aren't, and that's part of my problem with life is a lot of people. I mean, anyone can maintain appearances. I don't know what you're basing that on, Sean. I
I
just know that on her channel,
yeah.
she throws down the truth and she's very candid with it. And so
Hmm.
far, I've not seen her be confronted by anyone where she's had to backtrack what she says and anyone that's caught her in a lie, at least not that I've seen. So I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I'll talk about it later, but I'm going to show you
Okay,
right now. I don't want to say on YouTube, but
that's fine.
I this is someone that I really like a lot, but he's dead now.
He's dead.
But
Oh, is he black?
yeah, Kevin Samuels.
Yes, Kevin Samuels.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm
so,
so surprised that you've never told me this, Sean. Like, what the
yeah,
heck?
I know. I like all
Kevin
these guys.
Samuels, like he's the man, and he would bring these girls on and
Yeah,
just decimate them.
yeah.
Like,
He
lady, you have no idea what you're talking about. You're not living in the real
yeah,
world. Your expectations are just unrealistic.
yeah. He when I heard he died, I was like, no, he died of a cocaine overdose.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Seriously?
So it was he had a heart attack because he did too much coke and he died of a heart attack, which is I mean
Wow.
not everyone's perfect, but besides that he was pretty cool.
Yeah, see, that's what's frustrating is everyone maintains these public personas,
Yeah.
their public image, and I want to be the guy that's the same behind the scenes as I am on camera. I don't want to be the guy that actually has a coke problem. And I get
Yeah.
it. If you have a coke problem, is that really something you want to announce to the world? Probably not.
Right.
But it is, I'm not going to lie, it is disappointing.
Yeah. Here's
Sounds like she initiated the divorce. No, she did not. Even not, she will regret the decision once she wakes up. I don't believe she will ever wake up. In fact, I don't think I got to finish my thought, which is I am documenting these endless episodes, these endless frictions, because it was like Groundhog's Day around here where we just go through the same BS over and over again. It's like, oh my God, can we just get past this? Can you grow up? So what I'm doing is I'm using AI to document these interactions, and it's just been so cathartic for me because it's like, yeah, I'm not crazy. Now that I map them out, and it's like this low resolution hazy picture that I'm in this fog where it's like I'm pretty confident I'm not crazy here. I'm pretty confident I can see the patterns and it's not good. I certainly know how I feel. And now when I articulate it and I verbalize it and I write it, and then AI generates, once I build the architecture for it, and then it processes it. It's like yes, and now it's just becoming in high resolution, and so I'm capturing it, and I'm gonna formulate either a book or I would even like to do a YouTube channel on it so people can see like, oh my gosh, could someone really be this immature or lack this kind of self-awareness? Like it's just I would not believe it unless I lived it. And what's unfortunate is that I was willing to live it for as long as I did. But that's where like our original discussion, Sean, about humidity and where you're
yeah,
living. And I said,
yeah,
yes, but humidity sucks. Just admit humidity sucks. Yes, it does. Because then you went into like, well, everything has trade offs. It's like, yeah, I get that. So that's part of my thing, which is, yes, everything has trade offs. And so for the most part, it's like, yeah, of course, it was so finely balanced. It was almost day to day. It's like, okay, what's the trade off today? Because it's balanced in the negative. I need to balance it in the positive because it was so closely tight. Anyhow, um, oh, Brian. Hey, Brian, welcome back. Damn, I'm late. Too many distractions. Well, I hope they were good distractions. If you're going to be distracted by something, I hope it's good. The girl part 304s. The girls part 304s. Hose, yes. 304. Type it out, turn it upside down, and read it. Myron Gaines X. Yes, that's his independent channel. Okay, yeah. So, do you know what HIS or HSI, Homeland Security, maybe? Yeah, a federal agent, but the guy has some mad experience skills, and you can just
there's
tell the guy is smart AF. Yes, he was ex-military. Yeah, I'm so delighted you guys have tuned into some of these people. Yeah, so he knows Pearl.
yeah,
I don't know, everything she says is just like spot on, and she's just I feel like she has zero ego. Like she never gets defensive. And I've seen her on a lot of shows where people are basically trying to attack her, like on oh, do you know who Konstantin Christenen is, Sean?
no,
He's British. He's from England. Oh, I can't believe I'm going to forget their channel name. It's a big channel. They just um, breached the $1 million subscriber mark a
yeah,
few months ago. He's very smart. He's a comedian. He doesn't do it anymore, and he's got a host. Shoot, Konstantin. He's from Russia originally, I believe.
hmm,
Point is I've seen Pearl go on a show with them, and they
yeah,
basically were. It was just they just wanted to slaughter her, and I really felt it was unfair. But she
yeah,
wasn't ruffled. She just delivered her message, and they're always on point. And she just seems to have no ego that she ever feels the need to defend. So I admire that part about
yeah,
her. And
yeah,
she's done her research. In fact, she's trying to produce a documentary to
hmm,
show just how imbalanced the court systems are and the laws are against men in divorce. Guy put women on their place. He sure the hell did. He was he that guy had game, man. Always dressed very elegantly. It had that background music. What would you call that background music? Like total like lounge,
yeah,
chill. background music.
Like, it was like jazz.
Yeah, kind of jazz type of like real slow
Yeah,
type of jazz. But really, and he had the whole ambiance going on with like the candles and the lighting.
yeah.
He really nailed the details. Put it that way.
He was a very good speaker. So he was a kind of person. He was very charming, good speaker.
Yeah,
Could have been a very good salesperson. But he made
smart,
you.
articulate,
Yeah, he's very
charming,
confident.
a
Made
lot
you
of
believe.
charismatic. What?
He made you believe every word that came out. Like he just made you like you. He's obviously a leader, not a follower.
Yeah,
So
he's definitely says what he's very opinionated and he does
yeah,
it with conviction. And so you
yes,
want to believe him and it's
yes,
natural to believe him. So
yes.
yes.
You would have been like a good preacher or like one of those.
Yeah, evangelist,
Yeah, yeah.
evangelist.
You would have been like a billionaire if you had done that.
Yeah.
But there's Alex. Tell you what it is,
Wait, what?
Alex.
Oh, Homeland Security investigations. You know, our government has so many three-letter uh, groups.
Yeah,
I think they did a count. I think it's over 300 of different like groups within the government where it's just insane. It's
yeah.
like a bureaucracy nightmare. I've never heard of Homeland Security investigations, whatever it's federal level. So, but yeah, the guy's wicked sharp in my opinion, Myron. Okay, it's 7:21. Sean, do you want to tap out?
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready to head out. Head out.
Yeah, I suspect you've got a lot on your plate, man.
Well, not only that, I'm
You,
2 hours in the future. So,
yeah. Well, all right, party people.
all right.
Um, I know I enjoyed today which
Yeah,
is ironic because we talked very little about detailing.
all right. I'm changing the title. So, yeah,
You're changing the title?
yeah. After this is over, I'm gonna change it
I'm
to.
curious when you end up changing it and you land on something, text me and let me know what you decide.
Yeah, I'm just putting like the future of auto detailing and real talk about life.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's generic,
Yeah. Well,
but
you
meaning
can't write. It's a title. You can't write a book about the title. It won't fit. It has to be
no,
a
I
hundred.
get it. What I'm saying is that you could be a little more specific, kind of like a an indictment against women,
You, I'm not gonna
and
put
be
that in there.
provocative.
You can if you want, but I won't put that in there.
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
No.
Anyhow, when you decide, let me know.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Thanks for tonight, Sean, for all the
yeah.
technical stuff on the back end.
Yep.
And you guys in audience land, thanks for tuning in tonight once again. And we'll see you guys next weekend. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Yep. I'll be here.
All right,
All right.
everyone.
Good
Peace
night.
out.